Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mr. Pickles. Thank you for joining me today. In this episode, we're playing Theme Park Tycoon 2 on Roblox. We'll be using the Disney 2 server. It is episode 5. Very excited. Episode 5 will be very different from the last ones in that I put in serious work to make the camera quality viewable. So it should be an enjoyable experience to watch this time lapse. I don't know how any of you guys watched the painful slideshow that was episodes 3, 4, and like 1 and 2. But now from 5 on in this series, it's actually going to get like very watchable and possibly enjoyable. So that's exciting. I made quite a few updates to the line, the queue of Space Mountain. Added some fun pictures and made the crates colorful. Added a little control booth. And I really love the picture on the wall to the right. That like body scan image. I think it's really cool. So I definitely really like that, but that's the new queue for, and if you don't know what a queue is, it's literally just a fancy word for line. And then I came to the realization that apparently you can buy the plots on the end portion. I had I've been playing this game for years, and I had no idea that you could do that. So this is a big moment because I will be fully utilizing that plot of land to make something awesome, or hopefully awesome. I like how it turned out in this episode. It will progress, and again, we get a lot of stuff done. Yeah, but it turns out really good. Right now I'm just placing some walls. I'm trying to determine what portion of this building I want to be the outdoor section and which part I want to be the indoor section. So I'm also just raising the walls because I think it looks better. I was either going to do an overhang, but I decided not to. I was just going to keep the ceiling exactly where we started. I decided that restaurant might be temporary. We might be expanding quickly. That is to be determined. I think we work on that in episode 7. So stay tuned for episode 7 for when we work on that. I was thinking about painting the floors. I think I will later, but for the time being, we're just going to leave them the way they are. We expand this, get this open to a nice point. We're working on just figuring out how I want this building to flow. What's the best idea? Looking for some props just to see if I can find anything that would look nice. And that's mostly what I do, is just check around, see how nice I can make things. Right now, I had a great idea. I'm going to toot my own horn. I decided to make a spaceship in the middle of the room. I thought it looked very futuristic. And I thought that would be a perfect addition to this. So I just play around with some models, seeing what a good spaceship could look like. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I just play around with. I like the rocket to actually be off the ground, and then I'm going to put little rectangular pieces underneath to hold up the rocket. I literally Google searched an image of a rocket, and what I found was this red and white color scheme. And I think it comes out really good. I'm looking for a little window to pop at the top. The window might be temporary. I don't know if I keep it or not. We'll see. The white was like an off-white color, and I did not like the off-white color. I think it looked not good. So I made it as white as the rocket could be, and I think it came out a lot better. So we're going to expand the room. I have this idea of a big room with like high ceilings, giant walls, but the main idea is that the building, the high ceilings, the goal is to just make an awesome room with tons of space. That was the idea anyway. I will say it is early in the morning when I'm filming this voice recording, so if I'm a little tired, excuse that. I was adding some concrete walls. That was just to give kind of, if you don't add concrete walls, then what ends up happening is your camera glitches through the wall, which is not good. So I was just working a little bit just to add some concrete walls. When I can, I will add concrete walls just to everything. For the time being anyways. Now I'm just painting the floors, trying to give it a nice coat of paint. Try to keep the color consistent. I also wanted to figure out what I would do below here. I like the concrete. I also wanted to see if I could get an upside down fire effect for the rocket, but that doesn't end up working. It would put the effect on the actual floor itself, and I didn't think that looked very good. So, and it was really expensive. And even though I have a lot of money, throughout these episodes, the money starts going down quick. So that was a fear. I also tried the steam, but it was way too wide. I literally wanted just one like block worth of steam, but instead it put steam pretty much everywhere. So that was not an option. I tried the black, what is it? Black granite, or I like that. I kind of like the idea of like a charred ground underneath the rocket. But I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do there. I end up painting the paths. I think the paths came out much nicer when they're all the uniform path type. Like I said, I like the black granite underneath the rocket. I think it adds a nice feel to it. We're just going to go ahead and build up these walls. As you can see, the walls are very high. I really like this idea of like just a giant room with high ceilings and like this, just the idea that this room could be this open. As you can then see, I start doing a staircase. I'm really excited. So I actually want to have an upstairs to this building, and the upstairs I'm really excited, it'll have like a balcony overlooking the actual rocket itself. And we will also have a few things upstairs. I'm thinking of putting the people mover station and then maybe one flat ride just up here. I think that might look really good. So that's the plan. I just take some time, work on the staircase. I really like how it ends up and it turns out. I think it looks nice. I just add the stair pieces on each side, and then I put the concrete paths in. And when you come in, I think you'll have this nice sort of look and feel of like when this is all walled off. It actually looks really good, and it makes you feel like you're in this grand room. like just a giant space themed room, and I think it looks really good. I'm really happy with the way it came out. Just adding walls. Then we start painting the floors just to get the color scheme. Add some concrete blocks there. I'm not a big fan of the concrete, so I remove the concrete and I replace it with, I was thinking about maybe putting like a kids area or something with like prop buttons that they could press for like fun, or something for the parents. You know, you bring your kids to the theme park. You know, there's just some buttons and knickknacks and all that stuff just to mess around with. I thought it would be a cool idea. So I end up putting in some small pictures, and then just going to find like buttons and panels and stuff that you could play. That one was a flight control. I thought it was really just a funny way of. I really just thought it was funny. I ended up putting a red button instead of a green button. I thought a red button. I was thinking like maybe the kids press like a red button and then, I don't know, the spaceship makes a noise and it fires up and they get all excited. I really liked that idea. We ended up putting in just some fun stuff, some buttons that they could press, have a good time with. End up removing the curb from all of these floor pieces because I really don't like the way that the curb hits the wall, and especially on the stairs up. I mean, the curb looks awful, so that definitely has to go. I'm looking for the glass piece that I used on the outside just to add this balcony feel. And I think it looks really, really good, especially at this point in the process. The right side is just going to be a white wall for the time being, at least anyway. And then the left side will have another balcony that continues around the entire wall. And the people mover is going to go dead center on the path that we're building right now, but you'll see that in a few minutes. Right now we're gonna build the people mover. That's way too close to the track, that first rendition, so I end up getting a really good space further back from the track, and I really want the station to hold 3 trains, 4 trains, 2 trains. I want it to hold at least multiple trains for it to function. Just begin working on the track pieces. Just kind of getting everything in place. Work on getting these turned a little bit on the... It was really hard to get these turns. So if you... glitch-wise, not glitch, but like game design, if you go into advanced build mode, you can actually slow down the trains significantly just by pretty much literally all by just doing when you go to place to piece, you can actually control speed on the track filter next to the build button. You can you can control speed, and that is huge. You do not need to buy the Game Pass, and that works out really well. I spent some time just kind of tinkering with the monorail pieces. I wanted to keep it on a straight path, straight through. I think it looks so cool, like the people mover in Florida's Magic Kingdom, where it goes literally right through Space Mountain. I think it's so cool how this ends up turning out. I'm really happy with the way that it literally just cuts through. the park. We're going to end up expanding the station when I try to get a decent number of trains. I really want to... I wanted 3-car trains was my goal, is what I wanted, but I wanted multiple of them. I ended up just settling on... what is it? 2-people trains, like 2 cars each train, and I end up expanding the station a bit. I end up settling that's the size that I want to work on. I redo parts of the track to adjust for speed. You know the track is adjusted because you can see those little magnetic fins or those little black squares on the track. That just tells you that the train is changing speed. I wanted to work on the line a bit and the exit. These are 2 pretty big parts of a ride, is the line and the exit. I rework it a little bit. I like the way it comes out. And then I just add like a fake line to where, potentially the train could like go into the station. I really wanted that piece to be straight. So I go to extensive work to try to get it to be perfectly flush, and it just doesn't work. It just does not want to be like perfectly, like actually look at the train station, but that's fine. We get rid of the fencing. We will make our own fencing later. This is going to be where the restaurant will go. I toy with the idea of putting the space thing down here, and then I decide that maybe it would be better up here. That's the flat ride I want to use. It is kind of intense for like a Disney-like park with theming, but overall I end up thinking, maybe there'll be some people at the park who'd like more intense rides, and this will be perfect for them. This is where the balcony will extend to. We will bring the glass around. I also look at the people mover track just to kind of get an idea. I noticed that a piece is missing of the wall, so we'll just patch that up real quick. The main point of the people mover track is you really want it to, while it's entering, not have a ton of light. So I try to keep it as dark as possible while you enter actually the station. So I end up switching out the concrete for black granite because, like I said, I literally want to keep it as dark as possible. And the black granite really absorbs the light, so it actually keeps everything really dark, and I think that's very helpful. We end up making a black granite room. This is, again, just to try to keep it dark, so when you're actually on Space Mountain, you can't see the light. Or that's the intention anyway. So I just make a little black granite room just to keep the light from shining too much. This all seems to come out good. I just do a test of a train, see how it comes. It is slow for the time being, but I do like that it's very slow when it comes through the room. I give it a test on the Space Mountain, and I find that it actually is not too bright. I am noticing that I did this at night, so that might not have been a very good test because it was dark. But I'm only coming to that realization now. So that's a problem. We might want to go back and look at it being too bright during the day. That is something that we'll have to look into, but another time, another episode. We end up going to test the monorail. Add some fences, a wall. And what I end up doing is I end up adding that wall there just to absorb some light, because I really didn't like how much light was getting through. And what I couldn't do, I didn't have enough room to put black granite full blocks, so I ended up just doing a black wall, and I think that absorbs the light really well, especially when you're on the ride that you can't see. I hopped on the monorail there for a bit. I just do some monorail tests, see how it comes through the station at the slow speeds. I'm going to keep the slow speeds, especially for the indoor portion, but I get rid of the wall on the exterior, the blue wall. I didn't like the color. I ended up going for this wall piece. It's metal walls that are painted blue. I really like it in place. The wood walls I just was not a big fan of, to be honest. So I ended up changing that out for metal walls. And the floor pieces, the new floor pieces, again, if this is your first episode, we're actually painting this large building in green and blue. We really want it to just like fade into the skyline of, so when you're looking at it from the back and inside the park, hopefully it just blends into the sky and you have no idea that there's just this like giant building. That's the goal anyway. That's what we hope for. We end up just tinkering in with some of this stuff. We end up raising the roof, which it's no time to celebrate just because we literally just started. I wanted to see how high I can go, and I found that 70 is the limit, which is much higher than I actually thought, so we have a lot of space to work with. We're going to end up adding just some fun stuff. Just some walls and some flooring and all that fun stuff. I mean, nothing too special. We raised the walls a bit. That's fun. It's more logistical stuff at this point because this room is not a room. It's just a giant outdoor space. So we work on actually making this a room. I am for the ceiling. I'm going to make it out of glass. I think the glass ceiling would look really, really good. I did notice that when I walked in the room, it looks a little bland. So I was thinking, what if I could add some space pictures on the walls? And I didn't know exactly what space pictures I wanted, but I end up coming with maybe, you know, some planets. So I just brainstorm, look up some pictures of the moon, Earth. I think I end up going with the sun and then also just a planet. And that planet ends up being Saturn. I wanted to do Mars, but I could not find a good Mars planet that had a black outline or would work in the situation I wanted. So I wanted that kind of starry background, and it ended up being Saturn was just the best choice. Or I just end up with, I believe that's Saturn. So I just end up going with that one. I'm happy the way it turned out. The episode will be coming to a close. Hopefully, guys, you did enjoy. If you did, it would really help if you could hit the like button if you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, I would really appreciate you subscribing. It helps out the channel a lot. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I hope you have an awesome day.
Nice.